What's up, folks? Chilling in the trailer with my dog. It's about 100 degrees. I'm trying not to cook. We're just kicking out. I just got done wiring up some stuff under there. But I just wanted to show you guys some of my previous work experience because I used to build particle accelerators for the government, and I can actually prove that. I have pictures and badges still. Here's one of my badges. I worked for the Ernest Orlando Lawrence Berkley National Laboratory, the Lawrence Berkeley National Lab in Berkeley, California. Yep, underground building cyclotrons, in other words, particle accelerators. And I had a government security clearance to do so. And you can actually see me working on some of the particle accelerator reset chassis with silicone controlled rectifier boards and big giant capacitors that are strong enough to kill you. I was only 19 years old when I was building this stuff for the government. As you can see, and no, these aren't Photoshop pictures. These were actually taken with a Polaroid and then copied off of the Polaroid. So, and you can see some of the crazy stuff that was in there. This was my work when I was 19 years old, working for the government, building particle accelerators. Some of the resistors were just several thousand kV. The wire was all high kV wire. You could see me building silicone controlled rectifier boards by the hundreds to make several of those. Here was the beam splitter for one of the particle accelerators that I worked on. That's the actual beam splitter right there. The beam would go right through there and get split by magnets. I've worked on particle accelerator beam splitters, and here was one of the computers that controlled the particle accelerator beam splitter, and this was in a big cylindrical building that was underground. And I would be in there working on weekends and stuff, building big giant particle accelerators, and it was pretty gnarly. Stuff that I didn't even know what I was building. I was building stuff that rocket scientists thought up. And you could see the stuff I was working on was just intense, crazy stuff, and I was only 19 years old working it. There's that big 3-screen computer, and here's the big cylindrical building. And there was ladders and circuits and the beam splitters all over the place. It looked like an alien spaceship. But let's see, I'll keep moving here. I've also worked for Cascade System Technology doing circuit boards. This guy, Jeff Corpy, he was one of my managers, the engineering technician, and he's actually dead from cancer. He passed away not long ago. Here I worked for Celestica. That was my guest pass. I've worked for Lam Research. This is where I built machines that built the chips for Intel. These machines built the microchips for Intel, and I was building those machines. Here's my Celestica pass badge. You could see some of the stuff I was doing for Lam Research. We were wiring up the process machines here. These are the machines that made the microchips. Here's some surface mount soldering you could see me doing. Soldering surface mount boards, circuit boards all day long. There's me doing the soldering, and there's rows and rows of the boards that I would finish. The parts are so small you can't even see them on there. 20 years ago, 1/4/2002, here was me building these are control panels for rotary die cutter select machines at George Martin Company in Emeryville, California, and I was building those. I was only 19 years old building rotary die cutter select panels. Here is some drones that I built as a contractor for the, I believe some of these drones were going on the Marines and the Army and Navy. These are drone cameras, and they could see at night, see in day, and they have range finders, and they use MWIR and all that kind of weird stuff. And these went on big giant Army and military drones and stuff like that. So you might see those. Those look pretty familiar. And so does that guy right there. Here was me building the control board for the Jevo company, which was a Jello shot machine company. I built the control board for them. This was my engineering office, and I would do a bunch of engineering here. I still have that laptop somewhere. These are, you could see when we were building those $1 million cameras for the Army, we would have to strap them to a Cessna wing. Literally strap the camera to a Cessna wing because they're $1 million each, and we had to test them and make sure they worked before we go out. And I would build these cables and build these devices, and we'd strap them to Cessna wings, and then we would go up and test the cameras up in the Cessna over the Dalles in Oregon. And I got to fly around over the Dalles testing these big giant expensive military cameras, and that was just an amazing job. That was pretty crazy. I've built CNC machines. This is a Tormac PCNC 440, and I got that all working and running and figured out how to make that sucker work. This was for the this was for top tier palletizers. This was when I was building these big giant control panels for top tier, and you could see the VFDs, the motor contactors, and the relays, and the safety control stuff, the PLC stuff, the power switches, power supplies. There's the terminals. And you could actually see me, once I would build the panel, I would drag the panel out, mount it onto the machine, and then start pulling multiple conductor motor wires up and into the, and attaching them to the VFDs from under the machines. And I would work on these big Fanuc robots, and they would grab packages off of conveyor belts and load them onto a pallet, and then the pallet would spin and a saran wrap would come out and wrap the whole pallet up. And that's what these palletizing machines did, and I was working on those, building those. You can see my work right there, my wiring. Those are multiple conductor motor cables, but high voltage, up to 600 volts on some of these. And so I've done some pretty crazy stuff, and I got a lot of pictures, a lot of stuff, but that's only a few of the jobs I've had, and I'm not your average idiot. I just figured that I would get this on video and show the world that when you listen to me say something, I'm not your average idiot. I've worked for the government building particle accelerators before, so keep that in your mind when you're listening to me speak, because I'm not just your average stupid idiot who doesn't know anything, okay? I'll see y'all later, and I love you guys so much. I built this whole trailer too, and look at it running. It powers all my stuff, and it's solar charged, and I don't even have to pay rent in here, so I'm not a total idiot. I've done some crazy stuff before, and I'm actually extremely smart. So when I'm speaking, some of you should probably listen. I'm not trying to steer you wrong, I promise. I love y'all. See you later. Bye.